What is up, YouTube? Today we are going to react to Mr. Nightmare, free to walk down horror stories. And you like the new setup that I'm doing instead of my phone? This thing? Yeah, I'm not using my phone anymore for that. But anyway, I am here to react to free to horror stories or lockdown stories by Mr. Nightmare. This is a good one. I like this one. This is a classic horror story thing. And I might react to like more horror stories on this channel besides the cartoon reactions I do a lot. So 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna have to turn that up. It's really okay, there we go.
I was 16 in my junior year of high school.
Okay?
I had 9 periods in a school day. 5th period was lunch, and straight from there was my astronomy class.
It's
My
sort of like
astronomy
my
class
school.
was actually held in one of the 2 basement classrooms of the school.
Okay, my school has like 2 lunches, one for 4th and one for 5th, and that's second lunch. After 4th period is first lunch, after 5th is like second lunch. Sort of just getting that out there right now.
My high school was big, there were 3 floors, and even that wasn't enough to accommodate all the classes offered. So the school built 2 classrooms in the basement. It was honestly kind of creepy down there when nobody else was around.
Yeah.
It used to be a janitorial area. However, it was remodeled to better resemble a typical hallway. The only thing, there were no intercoms or loudspeakers down in the basement at that
Yeah,
time.
that's a bad
For that
thing.
reason, no classes were held down there first period for the morning announcements. Everyone referred to this little section of the basement as the chamber, and everyone always tried to get classes down there just because it was air conditioned and the classes were typically easier.
Oh god, I know people like that, and if my school like had a basement, they would just be like, yeah, please can I go in that? Like, I know basement classes are like easier.
Plus, it had its own bathroom down there. We had a quiz and
But the only problem is there's like no like loudspeaker, so if the school does go like on lockdown, you're gonna have to like get a text message from one of your friends. That's the only problem, but besides the point, easy classes, shit, I'm passing with straight A's.
astronomy that day. Usually I was one of the first done just because I found the class easy. After I finished my quiz, I texted my friend who was in the other basement classroom to meet me in the bathroom because I was bored. He told me okay.
Okay then.
I walked out of the classroom and down the small hallway to the bathroom. A few seconds later, the door opened and my friend JJ entered the bathroom.
Okay.
We were joking around for a while until JJ checked his phone and said someone texted him saying the school was going on lockdown.
Yeah.
We both looked at each other with the same grins. Neither of our teachers saw us leave the classrooms. That meant we had free range of the school while it was on lockdown.
Oh no!
We agreed to sneak upstairs and look around the hallways just for the hell of it. The worst that would happen is that we'd explain how we couldn't hear the announcements in the basement classrooms. Upon opening the basement door to the main floor, we were surprised to find all the lights had been turned off, so the hallways were pretty much pitch black aside from the light pouring in from the doors in the lobby.
Yeah, they do that.
This was legit because usually the lights were left on in the hallways during lockdowns. Something was going down, and we didn't know if we were even comfortable walking around now. JJ
I will get the fuck out of there immediately. I am not staying with some stupid fucktard in the building wanting to kill me. No, that's not gonna happen. No, no.
stepped out a little further into the hallway, and I followed suit. JJ then looked down the hall and said, "Who's that?" I looked, and emerging from the darkness was a man.
No.
At first, we couldn't tell if he was a teacher or not, but as he got closer, we realized this guy wasn't dressed at all like any staff member.
One. That's your key to one. That's your key to one. One.
He was dressed like a bum. Alright, let's go, I told JJ as we hurried back down to the basement. He surely saw us, whoever he was.
Yeah,
We
no
saw
shit.
both classrooms.
You should not have been any open. That's a horrible idea in a school. Just don't get any open. You'll be fine. Get the fuck out.
Had their doors shut and lights off. So to avoid making a scene, we decided to hide in the bathroom. I shut the light first thing, and then we both went to hide in the corner stall.
Oh god.
There was complete silence in the room. No ventilation, no heaters, nothing. Just the sound of me and JJ breathing, and an occasional drip from the sink. The door to the bathroom suddenly opened, and light from the hallway poured into the bathroom for a brief moment. The door shut, and the bathroom was once again pitch black. Me and JJ tried our best to control our breathing. The room was so silent that we could hear somebody
Unless you know a way out, you're done.
walking over to our side of the bathroom. The person stopped and started breathing really heavily, as if they were out of breath. Me and JJ were both scared to death.
You should be.
JJ did something very dumb. He whispered in my ear, "We have to crawl out through the other stalls."
Why would you whisper that, dude? He's gonna hear you. Dude, the guy is gonna hear you. Yeah, no.
The room was so silent, however, that even JJ's whisper could be heard from across the room.
Oh my god.
The heavy breathing outside the stall stopped, and the person tried pressing the stall door in. That was when I whispered, "Go, go," to JJ. We both crawled under the sidewall to the next stall over, and then the next stall, and then finally out to the other side of the bathroom. The person was now full on banging on the stall door. Me and JJ hopped up off the floor, opened the door, and as the light filled the room again, we saw the guy from upstairs in the corner.
Oh, hell no.
We pounded on the door to JJ's class. The teacher let us in within seconds. JJ
Respects to that teacher for letting you guys in.
explained everything as the teacher locked the door, mentioning a gun sticking out of the man's pocket.
Fuck no!
I was shocked to hear this because I didn't see a gun, but I went along with it anyway.
Yeah. Get the fuck out immediately. That's what I would do. Get the fuck out.
Usually a bunch of high school students would be laughing their asses off at two students causing a scene like this, but I noticed all the kids sitting in the corner looked concerned.
Yeah, cause...
A sudden bang at the door made everyone jump, and a couple of girls squeal out of fear. JJ, the teacher, and I could see the man standing at the door, looking through.
And the thing is, I do not like school lockdowns because it gets me kind of like, yeah, I would jump out the window immediately.
The window while trying the doorknob. After a few bangs on the door out of what seemed to be anger, he turned and walked down the hallway back to the stairs. We don't know how much longer the lockdown went on for, but for over an hour we sat in silence in the room, other than the teacher occasionally asking me and JJ questions in a very concerned tone, shaking his head after everything we would tell him. Eventually, somebody from upstairs called the teacher and he instructed all of us to single file walk up the stairs and out of the building, where we would be greeted by cops. Me and JJ did the best we could at describing the man to the cops and to the dean.
Okay.
One of the cops patted me on the back and we were sent off to go home.
At least you guys made it out alive. Okay. Even though the whispering was kind of a dumb idea, you two got out safely, which is a good thing.
After this incident, the school installed cameras everywhere and ramped up the security budget. This incident never got media attention, so honestly, we never found out if police caught the guy.
I don't know.
I'm convinced that man had no other intentions but to kill us then and there in that bathroom stall.
And you got out. Ad.
Do you want to earn a $75 Amazon gift card just for doing the things you do on a regular basis?
No. Bye. Bye, bitch. Story 2.
I'm a retired New Jersey police officer. Throughout my 20 years in the force, the most disturbing call I ever received was for a school lockdown happening at a nearby middle school, of which I'll leave out the name for legal reasons.
Yeah, that's a good
It
idea.
happened on a stormy, dark day. My car number was called on the radio to respond to a lockdown, where a suspicious-looking man was seen stepping out from a white van parked behind a school and walking into the back door by the boys' locker room. I pulled up to the back parking lot of the school, right next to the white van. Nobody was inside.
The fact he does the lightning effects is kind of cool, but if I was a police officer, right, and I got a call about a lockdown, I'm dipping.
And all the doors and trunk were locked. I opened the red back door that entered into the gym hallway, right by the locker rooms. The main lights had been turned off, so the whole inside of the school was dark. I unholstered the flashlight from my belt and used it to navigate the halls. I made it to the lobby of the school, where a woman emerged from the front office quietly, telling me to check the boys' locker room, but to be careful because the person might be armed. I called for backup on my radio and was assured backup was already on the way. I made it back to the hallway I entered from, where I found the boys' locker room right next to the exit. I pushed it open very quietly. There were no windows in the rooms, therefore there was no light whatsoever in that locker room. Only the light provided by the flashlight.
Yeah, they usually shut down the lights in a lockdown.
There was a white noise in the room, some kind of vent on the ceiling blowing air. But even over that, I was hearing faint scratching type noises, or little dings on the locker doors from the other side.
Fuck out immediately.
I was supposed to make my presence as a police officer known, but honestly, I was just too scared. The tension in the room was insane.
And why?
I held my flashlight in one hand and my gun in the other as I snuck to the other side of the locker room. It seemed like wherever I was in the room, the dings and thuds would be coming from the other side. I was standing in the corner of the locker room, right by the door to the bathroom, when the sound of someone slamming a locker door from another room made me jump out of my skin.
Why?
I went in the direction where I heard the slam, to find out that it was from the boys' football team locker room. There was no door separating the main locker room from the football locker room. The lockers in here were also 3 times the size. I finally had
The lockers at my school are kind of small, not gonna lie.
the nerve to make my presence known by shouting police. After shouting, a kid started screaming help from somewhere in the room. It was very muffled though. The kid pounded on a locker door on the other side of the row I was in. When I found out that the boy was trapped inside of a locker, I felt sick in my stomach.
Oh god.
I told him I'd be right back, once again calling for backup while running outside to where the white van was. It was gone.
They're gone.
My biggest mistake was not getting the plate number first thing. I told dispatch to be on lookout for a suspicious white van. I ran back into the school and instructed the staff in the front office to end the school day and to send somebody with a key to the locker room to get the boy out of the locker.
I did get trapped in a locker, but a locker is kind of a good hiding spot, but at the same time, it kind of like...
The boy was held by the man with a knife on his back, as I speculate the man was quietly trying to get the 12-year-old boy to his van. The boy was bleeding on his arm from the man cutting him while resisting. The man's van was spotted a week later in a 7-Eleven parking lot, where he was arrested after being properly identified.
Lockers in jail now.
I was staying in a Hampton Inn in New Jersey when I was visiting Rowan University, a college I potentially wanted to attend. My family couldn't come with me, so I was on my own. After attending campus tours, I went to get a bite to eat at a nearby restaurant, and then went back to the hotel at around 8 p.m., planning on going back to campus again the next day.
So you went
About an hour after returning to my room, a strange alarm started going off in my room, along with a white light flashing from the corner of the ceiling. A message started looping shortly after as well, saying something along the lines of, "All Hampton Inn guests, please remain in your rooms, this is a lockdown." I'd never heard of a lockdown in a hotel. I never even knew hotels had alarms like this.
That's honestly weird. I I never like really heard of a lockdown in a hotel before too. And I thought you lived in a dorm.
I found it more interesting and exciting than anything else.
Uh-oh.
Eventually, the sound of the alarm stopped, but the light kept flashing, and every 20 seconds or so, the message would repeat. It was only like 9:30, so I turned on the TV just as background noise while I started changing clothes and brushing my teeth.
If I were you, I would get
Shut
up.
the lights when I was done and hopped under the covers.
As I remember correctly, the dude was in the closet, so check your closet.
I watched TV for half an hour before shutting it off.
Stupid.
The light was still flashing with an obnoxious bright white every few seconds. It was definitely going to hinder my sleep. I was starting to consider calling the front desk to ask what was going on, when the phone rang.
Oh?
It was someone from the front desk. I was expecting them to tell me something about the alarm and when it would shut off, but instead the person on the other end spoke in a very concerned voice. She told me to remain calm and walk out the door. I took that opportunity to ask her what exactly was going on. She went on to tell me that there was somebody in the room with me and to get out immediately.
What?
I dropped the phone and instinctively
One!
started looking around everywhere. Part of me was curious to see if somebody was in fact in the room.
No, don't tell.
I checked under the bed, looked into the empty bathroom. Nobody in either spots. Then I noticed the closet door right next to the bathroom.
Get the fuck
It was
out.
one of those closets with a wooden sliding door. It was open just a tiny crack, and through that tiny crack, I could see a person's face.
Get the fuck
At
out.
first, it didn't sink in what I was seeing, but when the door slid shut, that was when I freaked out and ran out the door.
Good one. You
The
should've
people
done
at the front desk showed me security footage from an hour earlier of some sketchy looking man walking around the hallways, apparently looking for a certain room. When he got to my door, he opened it with the card he somehow acquired, and that was it.
How he
I stayed around as the authorities took the person out in chains. It was a man, of course, on the shorter side, easily 40s. He looked at me as he passed, as if he knew who I was immediately.
Oh, how
It's scary thinking back that he may have been watching me for more than an hour from that closet.
Mr. fucking Nightmare. Let me just point out, your videos are fucking amazing. The sound effects and the fucking like effects you do in the, to match with the story. Respect. We fucking respect. Anyway, I am out. This is Joseph is Insane, and I will see you next time. Peace.